Hey everyone. Wow, that happened quick, didn't it? Fuck. Total lockdown of the planet. Everything's on pause. Heading for the bottleneck. Intense times. And yet, full of possibility and transformation. This is the times that we've really been waiting for in a certain sense. We're living in a time when everything is uncertain. Where even things change day by day. And although that may be disconcerting to some, it's also a very good thing, because nothing ever changes much if things are very certain and ordered. When things are shaken up and we don't really know what's going on in the next moment, that's really a great time, a propitious time for transformation of consciousness. And I believe that that's what we're heading for. It's very easy to lose sight of the fact that this is a chapter, yet another chapter in our journey of awakening. A dark chapter, yes, but a necessary one nonetheless. This is like we're entering into the cocoon, having come from our caterpillar status. Consumerism, always eating. In its lifetime, a caterpillar consumes more than 300 times its body weight. And then it enters into this cocoon and just dissolves into mush and reforms itself as this magnificent butterfly, which is heir to the breezes and to honey and to the sounds of the birds and flight, the gift of flight. I can't help but think that we're on the verge of such an amazing transformation, or even a transmutation, one could say. It's important to remember the big picture in these very challenging times that we're traversing right now. And sometimes it's hard to lose sight of it because we can't see the wood for the trees. But what is happening, even though it is restrictive, even though it appears to be impinging upon our human freedoms, and even though it appears to be possibly orchestrated by a dark cabal that does not have humanity's interests at heart, even so, there is an amazing silver lining to this incredible experience that we're all collectively going through. We've hit the pause button. Gaia herself is just breathing a sigh of relief as the entire world stops for a moment and just stops to reflect, to pause, to reconsider, to look inside, to see, truly see, to see beyond the fear that is being peddled around the planet right now. This fear is the real pandemic. As coronavirus aside, fear is the pandemic we're facing. Fear creates neurotoxins in the brain, unhealthy ones, that through stress and anxiety, helplessness, feelings of disempowerment, feelings of alienation, all produce these neurotoxins that then compromise our immune system. And this is the real danger. This is the real sickness we're facing, this pandemic of fear. And fear of what, really? What are we so afraid of? Yes, there is a pandemic of coronavirus, or so we're told. But haven't we always faced viruses? Haven't we always faced... There's often a pandemic of flu every year. Every year there's a different strain of flu that comes along. We get it, we go through it, and we get over it. Yes, people die, but people die all the time from all kinds of manners and reasons. But really what we're facing here is that fear, the fear of death, the deep one, the biggie, the fear of death. It's an interesting initiation that we're going through, because mostly in our society we're afraid to look at death. Death is a taboo. You don't mention it. We kind of ignore it, conveniently. Certainly don't mention it to old people who are about to die. Don't mention the D word. Just fluff it up as if everything will always be okay. Well, this is a pause. This is a moment when we can see that everything is always uncertain. It always has been. Even when we thought it was all regular and hunky-dory and secure, it was always uncertain. We're always standing at the abyss, is the truth of the matter. And the beauty about this pandemic is that it's throwing us back into the moment, back into now, back into this moment. Because that's all we ever truly have, and that's all we ever truly had in the first place. Everything else was an illusion of security, that, you know, it will be okay tomorrow, in the future. We don't know. These things are not known to us. And so often we're so busy looking into the future or reflecting upon the past that we miss what's happening right now. This incredible gift, this possibility, this miracle that we live right now. Just the fact that I'm breathing and able to speak to you and able to communicate to you, my friends, is an absolute miracle. How wonderful is that? So, you know, being confined to home is possibly a really good thing for everybody because it causes time for reflection. And it allows us to reprioritize what we truly value in our life. This is a time to stay close to friends and family and to nurture each other and to love each other. This is the best antidote and the best medicine to counteract the virus of fear that is running rife around the planet right now. Just come back to this moment and to choosing love instead of fear. I think that every human being on the planet right now is being faced with a basic binary choice. Do I choose love or do I choose fear? And it's up to us to choose which one of those we wish to become. And it takes awareness and it takes a little taking responsibility because we have to fly in the face of the mass media which is seducing us daily into being afraid. Be afraid, be very afraid. You know, and it's just an illusion. It's all actually happening in people's heads. When I walk outside into the garden, the birds are singing, the sun is shining, the water is flowing. All is very well, really, truly. It's happening in the heads of human beings, this entire phenomenon that we're experiencing on the planet today, this global pandemic. And it's really a time to wake up to this and to really take the responsibility for our own emotional, spiritual, physical ecology. You know, to take care of the ergonomics of our own being. To take time out of time. To be with each other in meaningful, real ways. Stepping outside of the rut, outside of the routine, outside of the pattern for just a moment. And just connecting. And stepping inside of ourselves as creator beings. This is a very big invitation and a test, an initiation into whether we decide to be in victim consciousness or in creator consciousness. And our divine gift, who we truly are at essence, are divine creators, divine magicians. We create our reality moment by moment, whether we are aware of it or not. So we are masters in that sense that we are manifesting our truth in every moment, whatever that may be. Even people who are victims, who play out the victim game, are still masters. They may be masters of limitation, but masters nonetheless. So I see there is mastery in each and every one of us. It's not something that we need to attain. It's something we already are. We always were, and that is intrinsic to our nature as human beings. So I see this whole pandemic as an invitation to disengage from outside authority, to reconnect with inner authority, to really truly inquire as to what is really happening for oneself, rather than believing the mass hypnosis machine that is the mass media, the mainstream media, and a lot of social media is supporting this. However, social media has some amazing redeeming features and the possibility for immense transformation amongst friends. So, and that's why I feel behooved to speak to you today, because I just want to share myself in the sense that everything is not doom and gloom. Yes, we're in the middle of a Saturn-Pluto transit, and it is rather dark, but it's a dark chapter, but it is a necessary chapter on the process of birthing a new consciousness. Birth is by its very nature an ordeal. It is dangerous to both mother and child. But once the birth has happened, all of that is forgotten. All of it is accepted as being necessary on the path of this miracle of the new birth. And so I invite you to just stay in touch with the big picture, to see what is really going on here in the larger scale, and to stay connected to that, to stay connected to each other, and to just breathe and surrender and relax to whatever may be happening in this moment. Don't resist. And certainly, if you feel yourself feeling afraid, do something to make yourself feel high, feel good. Keep the frequency high is what I meant to say. Keep your frequency high. So this demands a certain amount of responsibility for one's own ecology of being. So if you notice yourself being seduced into the fear of death, into the fear of the unknown, accept these fears and be done with it, and do something that makes you feel really good. Just to change the pattern. Do something. Connect with someone you love. Make a song, create a work of art. We've got lots of time on our hands right now. So this is a time for self-expression, self-actualization, as we enter into the cocoon of our butterflyhood. That's what I want to leave you with today. So there's lots more to say, but I just trust all of you are connecting to this incredible possibility, this immense opportunity that we have today. And I send you all my love. Love is in the ascendancy, just as the dark is in the ascendancy. And remember, love is a virus, just as fear is a virus. It's up to you which you choose and which you choose to embody. In the meantime, I love you and thank you. And thanks for this immense opportunity that we're co-creating together at this time in our evolutionary push. Be well and be happy. Much love. Bye.